Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us today. First, I especially want to thank Mayor Michael Tubbs, who led the great city of Stockton, California from 2017 to this past January. And of course, a special thank you to Prophetess Burgess People, who is the executive director of our Guaranteed Validation Income program right here in the city of Gary. Before I begin, I want to encourage anyone with questions to use the chat function, and at the end of this presentation today, we'll have questions from anyone. Make sure you use the raise your hand function in the Zoom. It'll work for greater efficiency. It's my honor and a great pleasure to share news with you. Over the last several years, we've heard a lot about universal basic income, which is also called guaranteed income, but it's a concept that's been around for generations. It's a simple but profound idea, and a lot of our neighbors and family members continue to struggle with economic insecurity every single day. In fact, every month, many of them find themselves choosing between food, rent, or other basic necessities. In addition to that, COVID-19 pandemic has made their situation even worse in many ways. This pandemic has certainly cast a harsh light on the struggles that our communities continue to face. That's why today I'm excited to join a national movement which began last June, and it's simply called Mayors for Guaranteed Income. I'm joining about 40 other mayors and city leaders along with Economic Security Project to give qualified recipients in Gary some extra help so that they can find a little bit of financial ease each month. I'm proud to announce the launching of the City of Gary's version of a Guaranteed Income Pilot Program. The specific name of the initiative here in Gary is simply called Guaranteed Income Validation Effort, or GIVE. In a few moments, Mayor Tubbs will tell you a little bit more about the guaranteed income movement, and certainly Prophetess Peoples will provide more details on GIVE, Gary's pilot program. But first, I'd like you to consider just a few points. First one being that nearly 40% of Americans cannot afford a single $400 emergency. In addition to that, the medium Black worker makes about 20% less than a medium white worker, and the medium Latino worker makes about 35% less than a medium white worker. Women in particular, women of color, are most likely to live in poverty and lack access to health care and sick benefits and other things that come along with ordinary employment. Clearly, we need to do something to uplift these people, our friends who are our neighbors and our loved ones, because they're truly struggling. Of course, we're going to face challenges, and there may be some bumps along the way, but the GIVE program right here in Gary will help bring more residents on the road to economic well-being. And with that, I'd like to share a little bit about our special guest, former Mayor Michael Tubbs of Stockton, California. Mayor Tubbs and the Economic Security Project have led the charge to provide a guaranteed income in meeting the needs of all Americans. Mayor Tubbs himself was the 79th mayor of Stockton, serving in that office from 2017 to 2021. At the age of 26, he was also the youngest person ever to be elected as Stockton's mayor. He was the youngest person also to be elected to the Stockton City Council in 2013. Mayor Tubbs also was president of the NAACP chapter during his college days at Stanford University. He's long been a supporter of universal basic income, and without further delay, I'd love you to join me in welcoming Mayor Michael Tubbs. Hello, Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mayor. I feel bad because you have the flag and the seal of the city, and all I have is some pictures and my wife.
You're perfectly fine. Thank you.
Well, thanks so much for having me. And it's an exciting day, not just for the city of Gary, Indiana, under the leadership of Mayor Prince, but also an exciting day for this country. As the mayor laid out, and you all know way too well in Gary, Indiana, the issue isn't that people aren't working. The issue isn't that people are lazy. The issue isn't that people don't know what to do with money. The issue is that this economy does not work for working people. This issue is that particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic, folks are told to stay home but don't have paid time off. Small businesses have to shut down. And the issue is that we have to build a country and an economy that works for all of us. And as the mayor mentioned, it truly is our New Deal moment. Like Gary, Indiana is joining with 40 other cities throughout this nation to say that Gary, Indiana values and believes that residents deserve an income floor, not to be dependent on government, not to not work, but to have the resources to buy boots and to buy bootstraps so that then they could pull themselves up by their bootstraps and open small businesses, go to work and do the things that make our communities what they are. We know particularly that a guaranteed income is also part of an economy that honors the contributions of women. That so many women in our communities are doing caregiving work, are doing domestic work, and are doing that at home, so they're not compensated for it. And in doing so, are still providing value. And that we also understand that dignity is not attached to just production, that there is indeed dignity in work, but there's more importantly dignity in being human and humanity. And a guaranteed income is a path and a way forward to do that. So I just want to tell Gary, Indiana, I'm so excited. Everyone knows of Gary from the Jackson Five, but I think looking forward, people will know of Gary also as a forward-thinking place that saw an issue of economic insecurity and did something about it. So again, Mayor Prince, thank you for your leadership. And in recognition of that, Mayors for Guaranteed Income is giving $500,000 to the Give Project. And look, I'm not from Gary, and I have skin in the game because I believe so much, not just in the leadership of Gary, Indiana, but in the people of Gary, Indiana. If that they're given the opportunity, that they're going to rise to the occasion and illustrate that, again, the issue isn't with people, it's with policy, and that we have to build a country that provides opportunity for all people. So again, congratulations, Mayor. Congratulations, Gary. Congratulations, Prophetess. I'm looking forward to the contributions and the work. And thank you for leading in this moment. And thank you for leading at a time when folks really need leadership that sees and understands and does something about the real suffering and the economic sort of struggles that a lot of us are facing today.
Yeah. So, Mayor Tubbs, without question, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your certainly provocative leadership that you rendered to the city of Stockton. But in this instance, you certainly are representing Americans across the country, and at such a tender young age. And I know oftentimes being a mayor certainly didn't feel like that after long days, but clearly you're a very focused individual, and you have the heart of the people, and you're a compassionate mayor. And so we certainly thank you for that, and we look forward to continuing to work with you. You know, before I say anything else, I definitely need to acknowledge the leader and the spearhead, the person who spearheaded this initiative right here in Gary. Her name is Prophetess Burgess Peoples, and she's a young lady that I met a couple of years ago, but immediately understood her commitment to the city of Gary. And so a few months ago, I was asked by this initiative to sign on to it, and that was one of the easiest decisions that I made as mayor, largely because clearly there are people who continue to struggle on a daily basis. And as mayor, I certainly hear many stories of persons who tell me that if they just had a little bit more or a little bit extra attention or effort or assistance, that within itself sometimes creates the difference between them being able to go to work or provide whatever other essential needs that their family has. And so once I signed on, I immediately contacted Prophetess Peoples and asked that she explore this initiative a little bit more, so that I could learn more about it myself, but also I asked that she look for opportunities for Gary to engage and become a member and a partner in the movement, and certainly help residents here. And she not only answered the call, but but she rose to the occasion. And today, we're certainly proudly announcing Give, as I mentioned earlier. Without further delay, I'd like to bring up the lady of the hour here in Gary, and it's Prophetess Burgess Peoples. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Jerome Prince. Thank you, Mayor Tubbs. It is such an honor to be a part of this great movement because I'm one of those people. I was one of the people that COVID hit in my home. My job was taken away and it is not coming back. So I had to pivot and figure out how am I going to take care of my family. The greatest part about this is I had time. And what that time allowed me to do was to sit back and just get a little closer to the Father and pray, what can I do in our city? Because we receive countless emails. I'm sure the mayor's office does as well, but so does a lot of the community leaders, the organizations, just countless emails in regards of resources and help. So during COVID, it was easy for us to say, hey, listen, for now, we want resources and we want answers. So the mayor's office has been just diligently doing that for us all during the outbreak of COVID and what is happening right now. So I just have to give a kudos to Mayor Jerome Prince because not only is he the mayor of the city, but he absolutely loved the people that are here. I mean, there is nothing he wouldn't do for the city of Gary and its people. So when we discussed this pilot, it was a no-brainer. And like he said, hey, please go after it and let us know more about it. Tell me what's happening with this thing because I do want to help my people. So when we move forward with the Give pilot, put it in writing. I mean, we had the discussion, and then it was really easy for me to write. And then the workers from the national mayors of guaranteed income, the project itself, Cameron Burns and Dr. Catherine Gagat, they have been very instrumental at helping me get to where we are right now. So I just want to say thank you to them. And the Centers for Income Research team, Dr. Stacia Martin West. She is just absolutely amazing. So, and then Mayor Tubbs, you listening to that inner voice of yours that said, I got to do something and I'm going to do something to use what I have. So I am very grateful for that, because if you didn't take action, it'll still be a book and conversations. And now that you've taken action, so can 40 other mayors do the same. And I am so proud and so just elated to be a part of what we are doing here in the city of Gary as the director of this pilot program. Now, to give you a little bit more, not all, I want to definitely tell you guys that we have a group of people helping us with this. It is not just Prophetess Burgess, thank God. We do have an advisory board. We have Steve Tulowitzki, attorney Thomas P. Dockage, and Heather Ennis. They are just so amazing at doing what they do and helping us with advice and wisdom with this project. Also, we have a fellow that is a Gary resident, born here in Gary, that's Tyrell Anderson. He'll be working with the Centers for Guaranteed Income Research team. So they will have a boot on the ground person that will gather information for them to help keep us moving forward. But more importantly, our financial guys, hallelujah, Teachers Credit Union, come stepping up and doing what they will be doing to help our citizens obtain the gifts that we will be giving to them once we roll this pilot out. And Do Good in Gary Corporation with Ken Berry, everyone just really are just giving of themselves and of their time to assist us in moving this forward. We want to have not just a great start, I want a solid start. I don't want us to have any hiccups, any delays with this process and with this pilot. So the people that I'm calling out, and then of course, Mayor Jerome Prince, he is just right there with me. And he's like, I'm going to be more involved every step of the way so we can make sure that this thing does not, again, have any delays. Once we started, we want it to flow. We want to make sure that the rollout is smooth. So you'll be receiving a mailing in the mail over the next couple of weeks. Please open up that letter because that letter is going to give you an opportunity to apply to be a participant in the guaranteed income pilot. So it also have in there a survey. fill the survey out. Don't throw this away, because 4,000 of these letters will be going out to the citizens of Gary. 125 will be randomly chosen and selected to participate in this Give pilot. So we want you to look in the mail, say in about 2 weeks, for that letter. Make sure you reply as soon as possible, because the quicker you reply, the faster we can get it rolling, because we can't get it started without your participation. So we are looking forward to working with you all and making sure that we are giving a gift to the citizens of Gary that's going to help move us forward as a group of people, but more importantly, to help you aim to make poverty escapable. And I want to thank the Mayor's Guaranteed Income National Foundation again for the gift of the $500,000 seed dollars that's going to help us with our administrative costs, help us with that mailer and everything else that we have to do to have this solid start. And then, and just keep the communication open with us. It's so important that you know that everything deserves and requires money. So let's all be good neighbors. If there's any philanthropists out there, any organizations, foundations that want to give and to give, please do. You can send your checks to Give, P.O. Box 64979, Gary, Indiana 46401. You can call and talk to our communications coordinator, Vicki Harmon, at 219-238-4458, and she will give you more information on different ways that you can give your gift to give. So let's be a good neighbor today, and let's take heart that all of us can play a part in making poverty escapable. Thank you.
So once again, I just want to say thank you to Mayor Tubbs and Prophetess Peoples for everything that you've done for our residents and everything that you're going to do for the residents in the city of Gary. I'm excited at what we can achieve with this Give program. Using private donations and fundraising, we can make a real difference right here in the lives of the Give recipients. At this time, I certainly want to open the floor up to questions from the media and any that come in on social media. I guess you guys will direct me and let me know what we've got there, huh? Sounds good. Prophetess, don't go too far. I'm sure some of the questions are going to be for you as well. In fact, probably the majority of them. We have any questions at this time? Okay. Don't have any questions. Certainly concludes our portion of this presentation. If there are any questions, certainly you can direct them to the mayor's office. I'll make sure they get passed along to our lovely executive director of the Give program. Once again, Mayor Michael Tubbs. Once a mayor, always a mayor. Thank you for your efforts, and thank you for joining us today. And thank you to all of the participants and organizers of the Mayor's Guaranteed Income program across the country. Thank you.